So with this year's Madden, they actually added a lot of different options and sliders. The auto reorder, the draft class strength slider, and then obviously they made a lot of changes to the XP sliders. We already had progression, but we also have regression. Now, in this one, I do first want to check the XP. I want to see what happens if you max out the XP and see how high players get at the end of the season. And then after that, I want to do a separate sim and then do regression. As you can see, you can make all of the regression very high. Now, it says as they age, so I'm really interested to see if we max this out, if like a younger player will regress. But as you can see here, at least 26 will happen. So I didn't even know you could regress that early in the game. Usually it's like 27, almost always 28 is when it kind of really starts, and then 29 is like, for most positions, it starts to take a real big hit. But I really want to see like what happens when you max this out, because obviously it goes up to 200%, which is, double. And we've seen guys that are in their, early 30s or late 20s that lose like 20 points. Are we going to see 40, 50, 60, 70 points? Is someone going to go from like a 90 to like a 70 in one season because they're like 32 years old? I am curious to see this. Of course, we did a draft class strength video quite a bit ago now. It's kind of crazy how fast time flies, but I obviously first want to see what happens when you max the XP, as it obviously goes all the way to 300. I usually do about 140 to 160 in rebuilds, so after like that 3 to 5 year mark, players start to get really good if they, deserve it, really. So I'm very interested to see what happens here. I gotta maybe pick out a couple of players that I feel like this would really affect a ton. Like a young star dev quarterback, or higher dev, or, edge rusher, whatnot. Progression. The kicker punter already kind of seems like it goes up pretty high. Like the upgrades, it's not that you get a lot of upgrades, it's just a lot of the upgrades are very significant. So let's take a look at a couple of these players. Let's go with like quarterback, who's like a decently young quarterback. Let's look at Stroud. So we'll keep Stroud in mind. Running back, maybe A-Chain if he's actually starting, or maybe Bijan, probably A-Chain. Yeah, he is the highest. Oh, he's not the highest overall. I did not know that. I might have to drop Mostert or something. And then maybe like, a wide receiver and then 3 defenders we'll choose. I actually think a good wide receiver is Rashee Rice. We almost always see him become an X Factor, so it'd be very interesting to see him. He's a day 1 starter as well, so he should be literally wide receiver 1. He could get really high overall early on. All right, we are an 83 overall. I maybe should have looked at the overall that we started as. I don't actually care too much about the stats and all that. Sure, things may change because, different teams have younger players that may develop a little bit quicker. But in general, I kind of want to take a look at the league, see what kind of overalls everyone is, and obviously compare guys like Stroud, who are an 89 overall. So 8 overalls up. Now, come to think of it, even just thinking of our Texans franchise itself, maybe not the best guy to follow because his base ratings are pretty much all across the board 80s, and obviously an updated CJ Stroud's going to be even higher. But we have other players that we took a list down of, Mr. A-Chain, who goes from an 82 overall to an 89, so about 7 overalls. Maybe 7 to 8 is kind of the average. 90 juke move, 90 change of direction, 97 speed. He is absolutely insane. How many speed did he go up? Because I don't actually know what his speed starts off at. Maybe 95, 96, but that's pretty crazy. Rashee Rice has always been a guy that develops really quickly, so let's see what he is here. An 88 overall, actually an 86 overall, a little lower than we thought, but I think he starts at 77, which is still really impressive. Release isn't really up there, but that's really good. Then we have another Chiefs player, Karlaftis. Yeah, only a few overalls. Edge, while the specific attribute that they go for, whether it be power move, finesse or block shed, usually gets pretty high. The overalls, it takes a little while to get that up. He only goes up 4 overalls, which we have everything on max, even the age progression multiplier. So a little surprised he isn't a little bit higher, but Edge just does that. Gonzalez, 81 overall to 86, only 5 overalls up. Cornerback with those, one-sided upgrades, definitely taking a hit here a little bit, as he has basically no zone. Let's take a look over at the Bengals now. The kicker, McPherson only going up from a 78 to an 83, which once again, we talked about it. Yes, you don't get many upgrades, but you do get significant upgrades when they do occur. Usually it's like a +1 or 2 to kick power and or accuracy. And then we'll go take a look at the Titans. Mr. Stonehouse, 84 overall. So 3 overalls there, which, he is only normal and he is already kind of max. So once again, it's kind of hard to judge those players. And then Gilliam goes from a 76 to a 78. He's 26. So once again, fullback is really not a position that develops very well in game. Let's take a look at some of the other in general overall. So you have Lamar, Mahomes, kind of Josh Allen. I don't think he actually is a 99, but very close to a 99 overall. After that, Hurts is a 98, Burrow's 98, Justin Herbert's like a 94, Purdy, holy. I know he's like, I think, an 84 overall now in game, but he is cooking. Look at the overalls. Goes up 2 throw power, I believe, but look at the accuracy. It's actually insane. Goes up to superstar dev. What else do we have? Tua, pretty high overall. Stroud, like we've seen, already pretty high. Kyler Murray. We have the regression down, so I'm kind of curious to see what happens with Kirk Cousins. 84 overall. We'll have to take a look at that because he usually drops down to like a 77 to 79, like very quickly. Any other ratings? Anthony Richardson, he would have been a starter the whole way, so him going up like 73, 75 overall to 80 is not super significant. What about some of the running backs? So a lot of 99s now. Jacobs, Barkley, McCaffrey, kind of Henry, Chubb, very high overalls. ETN, Walker, Swift. A lot of really high overall players here. I mean, almost the entire league's 90-plus overall, which is kind of wild. Fullbacks, any 90s? Nope, not really. Wide receiver, several 99s as well. So, yeah, this is pretty significant. Wide receiver, tight ends. You got 3 of them 99, although Andrew's probably like 98, but close. 97 overall is only a 3K XP away from another level up. Left tackle, no 99s. Left guard, no 99s. Center, no 99. Zach Martin, I think, already is a 99. Lane Johnson's kind of up there. Edge, not really seeing that much. Once again, just like with the Karlaftis thing, not really going up in overall. Those players just, I guess they're slow to develop, but I feel like we have developed these players ourselves quicker on like 150 XP versus what we're seeing here on 300% for the regular player, like position XP and the actual age XP. So a little weird to see that, but once again, we talked about it. The power move and or finesse and or block shed also would be very high, even if their overalls weren't that high. Corners up there, always kind of is. Safeties, bunch of 90s. Kickers, nothing really crazy there. So once again, I want to see like the regression on Kirk, maybe even just straight up retires. But let's go to the Super Bowl sim to the start of the offseason and then see what he drops from, as we're going to have to do that. Actually, we probably shouldn't even do that because we want to do that for the next sim. This won't be a very accurate representation because everyone's like way higher juice than they normally would be. But in this scenario, I'm still curious to see. Only 2 overalls, so yeah, not bad. Actually, not bad. You definitely could live with it if, this happens. I'll probably have to do a couple of seasons, though, just to see, how long someone like Kirk or Stafford could to last with the regression. Basically 0, and then the Chargers win the Super Bowl, which I don't know if that's going to happen. All right, so we have all the regression sliders on 50. You can't go all the way down to 0, which, I don't know, it's probably because it messes something up, because I would say if not enough players retire, there would just be too many players in the league or something. I don't know how it would mess it up. It definitely would. But let's go to the offseason. We obviously... Wait, before we do any of that, which hopefully we got to. We did, I think. We'll see some overalls. I don't know if it actually did already regress. It looks like they did, which is fair enough because it doesn't really matter what the actual overall is. We just see that these regressions. So on 50%, still significant, right? Losing 2 throw power is a lot. I've actually seen Kirk not even lose this much regression. So even with 50%, which is, half of what it normally starts at, which is 100, you still lose a lot of ratings, potentially. I don't know if it's just a lot of luck, I suppose. We had it in, was it our Dolphins franchise, where it was Byron Jones, maybe? lost like 2 to speed, which was like super premature for him to lose that kind of speed. At most 1, but never 2. So you definitely can get really unlucky. And then someone like Stafford loses only 5. He's actually just a lower overall than I thought. Why is he such a low overall this year? Wasn't he playing really well? I don't even know. But loses a throw power, loses a 2 to short, 2 to medium, but still obviously pretty good. I mean, that's something. What about other positions though? Like, what about like Aaron Donald? What did he lose? 99 overall, X factor. Doesn't lose anything. Okay, I don't know if that's normal, but surely at 33 now, he would be losing some ratings there, right? Wide receiver would be kind of significant, and he loses 1 to medium round. So I think it's just they want quarterbacks to regress hard, because you look at those 2 guys, and they didn't really regress like at all. Jason Kelce half the time retires, and he only loses 4, and he's 36. So it seems like it really affects quarterback the most. Cameron Hayward, he's always a guy that regresses really hard too. And 10 points, I mean, that's not bad at all. He's still obviously super usable. Any other positions? Like maybe like a Travis Kelce? Unless he retired, he is still here. 97 overall, I gotta assume it wasn't significant. I would be wrong, I guess. 1 to speed, 1 to catch and travel, 1 to release, 2 to short route. 1 to jumping, 2 to catch. I mean, it's not fun, but it's definitely like, oh, that's not that bad. We can live with that. He's still really good, obviously. What other positions? Like wide receivers, any other like super old? Like what about Thielen? This is somebody that would regress really hard. Normal dev, 10 overalls. I mean, that's not bad for 34. So they definitely do their job, right? But they don't save as much, I thought. 50% I thought would have been like, you really wouldn't notice it. It would make it where things do get a little funky, and you would kind of like keep everybody around the league like sticking around. What about corner? Corner's another position that does regress quite hard. What about Gilmore? Gilmore loses only a little bit, right? 2 to man, 3 to awareness, 2 to excel. You can live with all of that. Obviously still really, really good. So that's, not one. Safety is a position that almost never regresses. So a little Micah Hyde, might not even have really felt much. 13 points, but how significant? 4 to zone's pretty big. 1 to excel. The injury doesn't really matter too much. So, yeah, I mean, well, I say that, but that safety group has been injured for some time, it seems. Gets some major injuries almost every other year, it seems. Harrison Smith, 35 years old. Maybe he wouldn't have, 11 overalls. He usually drops like anywhere from 4 to 6 overalls like every single time. So, I mean, fair enough. They work. I thought really the big one for me that was a little more surprising was I thought we would see more from the XP. I thought 300%, like I said, would have been like 10 overalls per player or something, especially like the younger players. But didn't really see that. And once again, fullback, Juszczyk, 33 years old. How much would he have lost? Just 1 to agility. That is such a random upgrade. But, well, now you kind of get an idea of how the regression works. So, and progression. So, basically, max sliders, definitely unrealistic. You're going to go up way too high. But also not as high as I thought 300%. I thought 300% would have been, like, ridiculous, right? But it seems like 150 is probably the best for, like, sim franchises. And then, honestly, almost base for when you're actually playing. Otherwise, things are going to get a little too high. Maybe tight end up to 120, wide receiver up to 120 and stuff like that. But regression, it seems like quarterback probably does need to just start off at 50% regression. You still seen Kirk got bent. Now, I know 35, 36 is not common, but you do see quarterbacks that, especially as of late with the protection rules, that easily get to that now. And, the at least average starters make it to that point and stay average. But Kirk, I don't know what his season was like, dropped 2 to throw power, which is significant for someone with only 88 throw power. And that was a really good season, right? Like, that would be one of his better seasons in his career. So that's pretty much going to be it for this one. Like I said, if you guys have any other suggestions for, kind of an experiment or testing video or a what-if type of video, let me know in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, I really do appreciate continued support on the channel. We'll have a Bears franchise video up a little bit later today. Like I said, Texans franchise tomorrow, and then maybe Spider-Man as well tomorrow, and then, of course, a rebuild on Thursday. And, yeah, maybe follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel PKR Plays, which is where Spider-Man would be. That's where he just lives. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you guys come back for next video, which should be a little bit later today. But until next video, see ya!